Good morning, friends. This is your old girl, Melanie Rose, here to share your daily aspects. Today is Saturday, November 27, 2021. The sun is in Sagittarius today. One of the things that Sagittarius has in common with its predecessor, Scorpio, is curiosity. But where Scorpio's curiosity is turned inward and into, Sagittarius' curiosity runs to the unfamiliar parts of the broader world. This is a great time to get out and explore, ask questions, and in general, indulge your curiosity about the world around you. The moon is in Virgo all day today, and this likely makes us very alert to what's going on around us and puts us in a good frame of mind to process information and solve problems with ease. Which is beautiful timing because the third quarter energy of this moon invites us to reflect on what things and attitudes no longer serve a good purpose in our lives so that we can plan and work to release those things as we enter the new moon this time next week. Reflect on what no longer serves you. Okay, let's take a look at these planets and aspects before we get into the interpretations. I have prepared a legend of the symbols we'll be looking at today so that we can start with an idea of some of the energies we'll be working with. So, at the top of our list, we have the sun, and the sun represents our outer life. That is who we are when we step out the door, the person people get to know when they first meet us, and generally how we behave in the social, work, and civic spheres. Next on the list we have the moon. The moon represents our inner life. This is who we are on the inside, our relationship with ourselves, our emotions, our intuitions, the things we know, as well as how we behave and bring ourselves to the domestic space. That's the moon. We have Saturn on the board today. Saturn represents those structures that we have a responsibility to maintain so that we can support ourselves and our loved ones. Chiron is also here. Chiron represents our healing. Mercury is here, and that represents the intellect, specifically our day-to-day communications, thoughts, and plans that we make, as well as traveling around. And Uranus is here today. Uranus comes around and asks us to do things differently, and so a lot of changes come to us when Uranus shows up. And then Jupiter is on the board today as Saturn's representative, not Sagittarius' representative. Jupiter represents growth, expansion, positive vibrations, good luck, expansive energies. As for the aspects we are going to experience today, we have a couple of squares. Square is representative of challenges that you might encounter, but consider these challenges more like stop signs than like complete conflicts or fights. A square is more like something that you have to stop and check and make sure you're on track, and then you can take a deep breath and move forward. And then the other aspect we have today is trine. Trine is a very positive, harmonious aspect, possibly the most positive aspect that we encounter. So it pretty much guarantees good outcomes when it comes around. As for the signs of mention today on the board, we have Sagittarius and Virgo. Okay, so I have divided our aspects into two columns, one for each of our luminaries. The moon sheds light on our nights and it sets the tone for our emotional experiences and our domestic relations. The moon moves very quickly, creating many brief aspects that represent ambient energies that may produce moods and other internal experiences for us throughout the course of the day. The sun sheds light on our days, and I address the rest of the planets on the side because these aspects take longer and they have more of an impact on our actions and the interactions that we make out in the world. We start with the moon today. Central Standard Time, friends. At 4:27 this morning, the moon went square with Mercury. This aspect has the potential to bring our strong opinions to the front in situations where they may not really be welcome. Put simply, this isn't the time to discuss your favorite conspiracy theory. It lasts about 2 hours. Strong opinions meet resistance. And then this evening at 6:18 p.m., the moon runs trine to Uranus. This one brings in some potential change in our heart and home spaces. We may have an excited feeling that something really cool is about to happen. Trine is a very positive vibration, so these shifts will likely be happily embraced by everyone involved. Positive shake up in heart and home. As for the sun side of the page, in the ongoing column today, we have a Saturn Sextile Chiron aspect that came up for us a couple of days ago. This one, I really couldn't find the timing on it. Chiron's aspects last anywhere from 2 weeks to 4 months. But, you know, the bottom line is that when Saturn is making an aspect, that's a longer term. It's a little more subtle, but it's definitely something that we're going to find ourselves working on. So we're going to give it our attention for a little while here and see what pans out as far as the aspects go and what changes we might be going through. So longer than most of the solar side aspects we see, we'll be reflecting on this one for a couple of weeks. Saturn sextile Chiron represents a very special opportunity for us to apply our own kind of practical magic to those structures we maintain for our own support, because everyone has different experience. Each of us has unique wisdom and understanding. We don't always get noticed for it, but when we put it into practice, it makes things better for ourselves and everyone else. Saturn reminds us of the responsibilities we take on to maintain support of ourselves, our families, and our communities. Our homes, our families, the cities and towns where we live, the various communities and groups we belong to, these are all our supportive structures. And Chiron reminds us that each of us has healing to do. It is the wisdom from this healing that we bring to those structures to reinforce their strength. Let me repeat that in a different way. It is Chiron who brings us the internal healing in retrograde and brings about the wisdom that we can apply practical magic to improve our foundations. Sextile is cooperative, and cooperation makes things happen. So now's the time to reflect on our own structures and what we have in terms of wisdom and insight that we can bring to strengthen the bonds that support us. Chiron has been in retrograde in Aries for a while, pointing to the inward healing we've begun to do. Check the placement of Chiron in your birth chart for more clues regarding what you have learned or have to learn about your own healing. And the first thing I would advise to learn is that it's not pronounced Chiron, it's pronounced Chiron. But really, do what you will. As for the sunny side of the page, and today, the sun at 6:28 a.m. runs square to the moon. This aspect really indicates the moment of the third quarter moon's completion and the transition from waning gibbous to waning crescent, from revise to reflect to release. Symbolically, sun square moon tells us that the outer life is not in complete accord with the inner life. We may desire to express our feelings and intuitions, and we may face some resistance from within or without. This influence lasts about a day. Self-expression may meet resistance. So coming up after this week was actually relatively light on aspects in general. Next week is going to be a lot more active. Mercury is going to reach its aphelion, or its farthest point from the sun, on Tuesday. The farthest point indicates the least amount of influence of that planet in our lives. Neptune is stationing to go direct on Wednesday, offering us the opportunity to turn the spiritual growth we've undergone outward into the world. And we will see a new moon next Friday in curious, adventurous Sagittarius, which is, incidentally, our current sun sign. We'll talk about these things and more in upcoming episodes. That's it for today, friends. This has been your Daily Aspects, an astrological weather forecast for Saturday, November 27, 2021. If you haven't already, please like my video and subscribe to the Old Girl channel. I will leave this up here for about 30 seconds so that you can have time to look it over. Thank you all so much for being here with me today. My name is Melanie Rose, and I will see you all back here tomorrow for more Daily Aspects.